Well, it's great to talk with you. Thanks for taking the time.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We're not far from where you live, right?
No, I live right here in Orlando, close to the Impact Zone, yeah.
Awesome. And the big show's tomorrow night, Redemption. It's been a while, though, since you guys have done any Impact Wrestling here in Orlando. So it's like a bit of a homecoming, if you will.
I mean, we were just here in January, but so I still say it's been a while. Yeah, I'm happy to be doing this again, one more go around. I think this is supposed to be the last time we're here in Orlando this year, so we're going to try and make this one special.
You were in like a hardcore match.
House of Hardcore match, yeah.
With the king of the House of Hardcore, Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
Are you like, when you go into a hardcore match, is it something like, oh, this is going to be fun, it's something new, or you're like, oh my God, I hope I don't bleed too much?
Oh, no. I mean, you got to understand, I played 7 years in the NFL, and every game was pretty much a hardcore match, so I think I'm built for this. I think I'm probably the vet in this match. I know I'll say Tommy is, but I mean, like I said, 7 years in the NFL, played over 50 games, and like I said, each game was a hardcore match. So I'm ready for this. I think OVE have some huge problems in their hands tomorrow.
So what's Moose's weapon of choice?
You know what? I'm going to keep that a secret. We'll find out tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. I mean, your weapon of choice is just, the crowd is with you.
Yeah, the crowd is my weapon of choice. They're gonna edge me on to do stuff that I can't even think of right now. So, I kind of have goosebumps even thinking about it. But I can't wait till tomorrow.
I saw you work recently, actually, in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Lucha versus Impact. What was it like being part of that show and being part of those guys that maybe you hadn't worked with before?
Oh, that show was probably the most buzz talked about show for that weekend. When you had two big companies with Lucha Underground and Impact Wrestling join forces and produce a good show as that. I mean, there's tons of dream matches that people will want to see. Unfortunately, I didn't give the fans the match they wanted to see. I think a lot of people from being on social media want to see a one-on-one matchup with me and Matanza.
Yeah.
And I mean, we was in a six-way together. I mean, we tried our best, but
you had a moment though,
we had
where you guys were in the center of the ring, just you guys.
Yeah, and like you saw how that energy that came with that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, with this working relationship, I'm sure we'll have another go around that, and maybe we could step in there one-on-one, me and Matanza.
Well, like they always say, anything could happen in the world of professional wrestling.
This 2018, you never know what will happen with pro wrestling.
If we look at the whole gamut, who is like a dream opponent for you?
I hate talking about dream opponents because it then makes you talk about companies that you don't work for and you don't have a working relationship with. But I mean, I have my list, but I mean, you never know. We'll see what happens.
I mean, those are people, though, maybe they won't work for these other companies at some point, and maybe we can make this happen.
Oh, I mean, if we can make it happen, it'll be a dream come true. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, it's 2018. You never know what would happen in pro wrestling. In fact, WWE and Impact just worked together to put out a Hardy Boys DVD. So
yeah,
you never know. It's 2018. There's a lot of things going on that we couldn't even comprehend 5 years ago.
Yeah. You've been a lifelong wrestling fan, right?
Yeah, since I was 10 years old.
Who did you look up to when you were growing up?
Oh, Ric Flair. It's rest in peace, Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah.
It's weird that he just passed. Well, it was weird. I was telling a friend of mine when I was in high school, I tried to go with the nickname Bruno, just because of Bruno Sammartino.
Wow.
Like it didn't catch on, it didn't click. But you know what? Rest in peace, son. Was a big fan of his. But guys like Rey Mysterio, Scott Hall, Tommy Dreamer, which is great because he's my tag partner tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the list goes on. I've just been a big wrestling fan since I was young.
Bruno's a cool nickname. Moose is a much cooler nickname, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, Bruno's still a pretty badass nickname, but I like Moose.
Where did that come from?
A teammate of mine gave it to me when I was in the football days. Hated it.
Really?
Hated it. Couldn't stand it. Hated everybody who called me Moose, and now Moose makes me money, So it's weird how things like that happen.
So when you came into TNA, were they like, all right, let's figure out a gimmick for you? Or were you like, let's do Moose?
One of the things that was that I talked about with whatever company that I was going to go to when I was a free agent was wherever I go, I'm going to keep everything that made me who I am coming in. And TNA was happy with it, and they, I mean, it was a great fit.
And the crowd just loves to say it.
I mean, it rolls off the tongue easy, right?
I think it's so impressive that a guy your size can do the moves that you do. Like to see you doing a moonsault is a little bit it's mind blowing.
It's been a while since I pulled one off. But you know what? Tomorrow is more about being gritty and hardcore. So I think we're gonna leave all the cool looking moves at home and bring the mean nasty moves.
You think you still got that moonsault in you?
Yeah, I definitely still got it in me, but you know, less is more.
I was talking to Goldberg recently about like the art of the spear, and you know, you have a really interesting take on your spear. I like how you do that. Being a football player, doing a spear in football, very different than doing a spear or a tackle, you know, in
very
wrestling.
Different, very different.
What's the difference in the setup to it?
In football, you have way more athletic people trying to move out the way, when more skilled people that knows how to make you miss tackles. And so where compared to wrestling, you're talking about a guy who has never probably been tackled a day in his life. So
not a real tackle, at least.
Not a real tackle.
Yeah.
And so he has no idea what to do to get out the way. And so, I mean, it's easy in the wrestling world because they're not used to trying to get hit 100 miles per hour than in football.
I know that you're really good friends with EC3. Are you still keep in touch with him?
Oh, yeah, every day. I talk to him every day.
Are you so proud of him?
I'm so happy for him. He's doing great things with the company he's with now. And, I mean, and everybody knew he was going to be a star wherever he goes. I mean, he looks like a Greek god, you know. And he talks great on the mic, and his in-ring work is great. So, I mean, we all knew he was going to do great things.
When you're like walking through an airport or you sit next to someone on a plane, what do people think you do for a living?
Man, I've heard it all, from acting to athlete to entertainer. I get it all.
Because, I mean, you're a giant dude, so they must be like, oh, you probably football player, basketball player, something like that, right?
Everything. Even with this hat on, I've gotten a high school teacher. So.
High school teacher?
Yeah,
what?
I guess I look like
Mr. Moose, yeah.
I don't know. But
Dr. Moose.
I've gotten anything you think about, I've probably gotten it a couple of times.
To go from the NFL and that type of locker room to then go to an indie wrestling locker room, and I've been part of a lot of indie shows, how different was that for you?
It's definitely different. I mean, you gotta understand, NFL locker room, we probably had the best locker rooms, looking locker rooms with TVs all over the place. You can get comfortable, where in a wrestling locker room, you might come in and you might be changing outside for the day.
So with a curtain or something, or no curtain maybe.
Or no curtain, yeah. So it's definitely a big difference there. But I mean, for the love of wrestling, you go through it.
Was it like a lifestyle change for you? Because in the NFL, you're hanging out with your buddies who are millionaires.
Yeah.
Here, you're sharing a ride in someone's 1984 Toyota Corolla.
It's definitely a lifestyle change. I mean, but when I played, I was really humbled. I wasn't one of those guys that like spend a ton of money and do what all the millionaires did. I kind of like stayed humbled and stayed quiet and stayed low key. So like, I mean, it wasn't that big of a lifestyle change, but
yeah. I mean, in the NFL, you know, you played for several different teams, and some teams you were with for like a month or just a couple months. Walk me through how this happens. Do you like actually move to like St. Louis for 5 weeks and then they go, all right, sorry, you're going somewhere else?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. I mean, luckily I didn't move as much. Played 4 years in Atlanta, then a whole year in New England, and a whole year with the Colts, and a whole year with the Rams. I ended it there. But yeah, when I played for every other team, when I left Atlanta, you pretty much play the season and you go back home.
Like, how does it work for like a lease or something then? Like,
I mean, you get a 6 month lease. I mean,
wow.
You'll be lucky if you find places who let you pay month to month. But most of the time, you get a 3 to 6 months lease, and then go on. And after the season, you pack your stuff and go back home, wherever home is.
And now, since home is here, it's like wherever your shows are, you guys are taking off and going there.
Yeah, you go there for a day or two, and then you fly back home.
And you guys are working. Is it in Canada? Is that where your Impact is based now?
The main offices are in Canada. I think we do like some post production stuff in Nashville still, but definitely the main office is in Canada, in Toronto.
Is there a city that you love working in?
I love Canada. I mean, there's a lot.
Thank you. I'm Canadian, so.
I guess I had to say that because the company's Canadian. But I mean, there's a lot of cities. I mean, Chicago for one, California, you have great fans. When you go out the country, you talking about Tokyo, Japan, have awesome fans. The UK have great fans. I mean, wrestling is different. I mean, not different. The fans, the perception of wrestling is different everywhere you go. The way they react to stuff is different. So just traveling around the world, man, I like feeling that new. I like being in that new experience to see how the fans are going to take it because it's always different everywhere you go.
Since you got into the wrestling world, who's been the other wrestler you've worked with that's impressed you the most?
Oh man, you know what? With every match that I have, most people usually impress me in different things, like how athletic they are, their smarts, how good of a ring leader they are. So I mean, I kind of like pick and choose what I like from my matches, from my opponents at least. I know Eddie Edwards, I've said this before and I've said it again, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and I've shared the ring with him as a competitor and a tag team partner, and he's awesome, so I'll probably say him.
I also like how he was part of your debut with Lashley as well. Seeing you against Lashley is like, something's going to go down here.
Yeah, me and Lashley had some real good ones, and I'm happy for what he's doing now and the company he's with now.
That kind of came as a bit of a surprise to me. I don't know. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Lashley's a good friend of mine, so I knew it was coming.
I like that you keep in touch with everyone.
Yeah. I mean, if you're my friend, I try to talk to my friend as much as possible.
Well, we appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing you in the ring tomorrow.
Oh, appreciate it. I can't wait, man.
Moose. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you.